Hi, this is Emily Iannelli, and I wanted to do a tribute to a friend who I've been in contact with on Facebook. I will only identify her by her first name because I don't want to say the whole name. I want to give her privacy, but with that said, I do want to acknowledge her for really being a friend to me on Facebook. She's very kind and she's very concerned for me in ways that I am truly appreciative. You see, I do a lot of writing and I do posts on my account, and it helps me because of my depression, my transgender struggle, my bipolar disorder, and also my son's situation as he is on the autistic spectrum. Now, my friend has been very inspirational to me because she is battling with a terminal cancer diagnosis. And I am truly heartbroken for her, but I admire her courage and her inner strength to go on in her life and work in her chosen field and push herself as if she didn't have this affliction. She's had multiple surgeries and she is a real battler. And she's got 2 children who mean the world to her, and she's married, and she's an overall wonderful lady, woman, and I am very happy to have her as a friend. We don't get together, we don't go out, but every day she sends me a message or she writes a nice comment on my posts, and sometimes she questions me and she shows concern and she renders great advice. She takes the time out to write, and she has called me through video on occasion. However, we had not yet connected, but there were times when I posted something that she was concerned about. So she had the need to reach out to me, and that is a true friend. Her name is Bari, and she is a godsend to me, and I'm very grateful to her for being such a good friend, a concerned friend, and a friend who addresses my comments with her insight and her she is very kind because she puts a lot of thought into her comments, and she's very sincere about it. And I admit, as I read her comments, I am very much appreciative, and she does challenge me. And then there are times when I really have to think about what she's saying to me, because I want to reply with respect and acknowledge her commentary. She's in my corner. She supports me fully as a transgender woman. She's been giving me pep talk about the surgery I'm hoping to do. And she also makes very important suggestions regarding my concerns for my son who's on the autistic spectrum. She has raised her 2 children to be very successful, And one of her children is now married, and the other one is in the medical field. The one who's married, I believe she graduated with her post-baccalaureate degree, a master's degree. I saw some beautiful pictures of that celebration, and I think it is a great thing. Me personally, I wish that my son was able to go to college and find himself, but unfortunately, he is not mature enough to go. And it seems, and Barry also thinks this is the way I need to go, is to place my son, Matthew, in a group home. It's tearing me apart because I've had all of these wishes for him when he was a baby. I was celebrating his life, and I knew in my heart that I wanted him to have a wonderful life. And, I have to be realistic. I'm getting up in age. I'm going to be 60 in 2 years, and it's wearing on me. I'm very concerned for my son, and I don't know sometimes the right thing to do. And that's where Barry comes in, and she really offers me some really hard-hitting advice that I take very seriously. And I address her comment with a lot of forethought before I send. And I need people like that in my life, given the fact that I'm very isolated. I struggle with depression. I'm transgender, trying to sort out my life. And I just want to find my happiness. I'm going through a lot of adversity. I'm struggling financially. And I worry too much. And the only thing I do that helps me and anchors me is my writing and my videos. And other things I do to pass my time is I like to watch movies, or unfortunately I'm hooked on CNN as well. I'm not going to get into politics, but I am not a fan of the president or the Republican Party. And I hope that things will change, because we need change. We don't need this separation of people, the ones that support the president and the ones that don't. He seems to ignore the ones that don't and only caters to the ones who do support him. And I think that's an outrage. He is supposed to address the needs of every citizen of this country. I am trying my best to cope and to be able to live my life, as best I can. It's difficult, but I must forge on. And I have other friends that I know from high school days who are also in touch with me. In fact, I have another friend who I won't mention for privacy issues, and I hope that she knows how much I am appreciative of her. It is a very nice feeling when you know there are people that care about you. I was thinking about going to our 40-year high school reunion, But I am somewhat concerned because of my transition from male to female, and I don't know how I will be received. So I did not want to ignore this, and I may go, but I am not sure yet. Plus, I don't know the details. So if I don't know the details, then I wouldn't be able to go anyway, because I don't know how much it's going to cost. I don't know where the venue is, and I don't really know the date. So it's still up in the air whether I'm going or not. But my biggest concern, like I said, is how I will be received. I don't want unwanted attention. I just want people to know that life isn't perfect. And sometimes we hide our true selves, our true identities, because we live in fear. At least that's how I've always felt. So, I mean, I would like to go. You're talking about 40 years. And I think it would be fun and interesting, and it would be nice to catch up with the people. I do have another reunion that I am definitely going to, because it involves our cross country team, and it's a tribute to our coach. And coach helped me out in high school. In fact, he recruited me for the cross country team and the track team. And I never ran before, but when he recruited me, I was excited because I felt I would be finally belonging to something. I would have teammates, and I'm glad that he approached me because I benefited immensely from that experience, and I made some good friends who I'm still in touch with on Facebook. So I've become very reclusive and isolated, and really the only times I go out is to my doctor appointments, my son's doctor appointments. Occasionally a friend of mine will stop by and we'll go out. And I like to take Matthew out and do things with him as well. Recently we went to the Met game. I have a 20 ticket plan, and I don't think I'm going to be able to go to all the ball games. So I do have some tickets available if anybody's interested. They can leave me a message and I'll make arrangements. But obviously you'll need to live in the New York area, Long Island, in fact, because, the Mets play in Queens. And if you want to go, you'll want to be close or within a reasonable distance of the ballpark. And I would suggest, if someone does go, that they bring their own food. No backpacks, though, because they'll be confiscated. But you're allowed to bring your own food and drink. You should do this because it will save you money. I made the unfortunate mistake of going to the concessions for my son and myself, and I paid a fortune. Long story short, the tickets were already paid for because I put the ticket plan on my credit card. Parking costs $25, and I'm not really good at finding places where you can park for free. because I don't really know that area, and I very seldom go to Met games. In fact, this will be the most times I will be going to Met games because of the ticket plan I purchased. And I will go with my son on most game nights. The tickets are for the week, and they're all, I believe, night games starting at 7:10 p.m. and they start exactly the time they schedule unless there is a rain delay. Um, the seats aren't the best seats, but they are good seats, and you'll get a good view of the field. And the seats we have are very close to the concessions if you decide to go to the concessions. Just bring your credit card because it is costly, unless you carry a lot of cash, which I don't. So I also have tickets for my son and I to see Jimmy Eat World, which is a band that I've come to really like, and they have lots of songs that I really like. And there is one song in particular that really affects me emotionally, and I like to play that quite a bit. Um, yeah, I'm going to see Jimmy Eat World and Third Eye Blind. Both good groups, in fact, great bands. And I'm going with my son to see them perform at the Northwell Jones Beach Theater. I haven't been not at that concert venue in a long, long time. In fact, I believe the last time I went was with my wife, then girlfriend, because we didn't marry yet and we were dating, and we got to see Shania Twain and some other bands. And I do remember seeing Chicago perform, but I don't remember the exact year. They were awesome. I love music. In fact, it helps me cope. It affects me deeply emotionally. And I benefited from that because that was the impetus to my writing and recording subsequently. As I have albums on iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, the MSN equivalent for digital music, iHeartRadio, YouTube, quite a bit. And my albums are long in length. In fact, I believe the longest is a little over 7 hours with roughly 100 tracks. And they're all my spoken word. The only thing is there is no musical background or score. It's just me speaking into a microphone and recording my writings, my poems. I'm also very active again on allpoetry.com. My music is on also Rhapsody and Number One Music. And I've gotten some really nice comments with regard to my recordings. And it makes me feel good. I also get nice comments on my allpoetry.com writings. And I also use Instagram and Facebook as a source for my writing as well. The one thing that really bothers me about Facebook was I had an Emily page, my Edward page, which is current, is now where I post and communicate to friends of mine. My Emily page was taken down from Facebook because they said I violated copyright matters with respect to bands I used as background music in some of my videos. So they took it down, and I have no way of getting it back because it's gone. I have no idea where they put it, but it's gone. And what really bothers me about that is I put my heart and soul into my writings with no copies. And I lost a lot of my poetry and my writings and my YouTube videos that I recorded. Thank God I have those still on my YouTube channel. But my writings, my poems are not, I lost them basically. And I wrote at least 300 or so posts. So that really bothered me. So I did say I was dedicating this to my friend Bari. I just want to say that Bari has been a very supportive friend to me, and I wish her well in her recovery as she deals with cancer. She's in my mind, and I try to write things sensitive to her situation and try to be as encouraging as I can. Sometimes I really don't know what to write, but I try to write writings of encouragement. She's a wonderful woman. She's a wonderful mother and wife and a wonderful working professional. And she inspires me for her work ethic, her bravery in the face of illness, and the love she has for her family. Those are great qualities. Plus, I really appreciate that she reaches out to me. So, I also, when I did make a post on the high school reunion page in the event that I'm not able to go. And I said in my post that I wished all my former classmates a wonderful time at the reunion occasion, safe travels to and from, and I also extended my condolences to our classmates who've passed on. We've got quite a lot of them. Some many, many years ago, some in car accidents where they didn't survive. Some that I can't believe they're no longer with us. It kind of brings me to reality, and I face my own mortality. I think we're all somewhat afraid of dying. So I just immerse myself in my writings and trying to do things with my son before he most likely goes into a group home. And sometimes I go to movies by myself. I walk around the mall by myself if I'm not with my son or a friend on occasion. And being transgender, male to female, I like to try on pretty clothes, dresses, pretty much dresses. I'm not really into pants, though I will in the cold winter time wear slacks because I need to keep my legs warm. Though I do brave the weather sometimes and still wear my dress. And my friend Bari suggests if I'm going to wear a dress in the wintertime that I should accompany it with leggings. And I agree with that. I'm hoping to do the surgery. Some of you may not know what I'm talking about, but bottom surgery from male to female. So when I say bottom surgery, I think you can figure out what I'm talking about. And Barry's been very encouraging, sending me encouraging words, and she says she believes I should go do that surgery based on the fact that I've been waiting virtually my whole life. 16, about 16 years old. And I tried to come out in my 20s, but I lived at home, so that was an impossibility. In my 30s, but I was going to a therapist who used techniques of conversion therapy, and she introduced me to my wife-to-be, and we got married, which I am grateful for, and we have a son who we love and adore. So if I transitioned earlier, I wouldn't have that, and my son means the world to me, Matthew. So if I had to do it all over again, I would definitely do the same thing with no regrets. I have lots of former classmate friends that I communicate solely through Facebook, and in one or two instances I speak over the phone. Right now it's one instance, and my friend knows who I'm talking about, but I don't mention her name for confidentiality purposes. I made a promise to her that I would do so, but she knows who she is. So I will wrap this video up by wishing my friend Bari all the best in her recovery. I wish her well in her fight to overcome her cancer diagnosis. And I hope, as she expressed her wishes, that she gets to see her children's, she witnessed one of her child's marriage, obviously. She's witnessed both of her children graduating from college, and one completed medical school, And as I said, the other, who's married, got her master's degree. I'm not quite sure what her career is, but I know she, Bari, is very proud of both her children. And I commend her for raising such intelligent, beautiful children. I don't really know her husband. I met him on one or two occasions, and he seems like a very nice gentleman. I've met, well, I've seen Bari on a few occasions. One was when she, with a bunch of my other classmate friends from John F. Kennedy Belmore High School, where they came and threw me a party to celebrate my transition from male to female. It's nice to have people who accept you, especially former high school classmates. So, Bari, I wish you well. I know you're a fighter. I know you have dreams of seeing your children marry. One already is, and I congratulate you for that and for their graduations. And you're in my thoughts and prayers always. Thank you. Thank you, Bari. Love you.